Let's talk about the story. UnitedHealthcare CEO gets murked by a hitman. Now, of course, I must urge you not to Fed post in this chat, even though, holy shit, everyone. Like, I think this is one of the first instances where I've ever seen so much universal support for something that is so criminal. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't know. We're living in interesting times. We're living in scary times. We're living in interesting times. Let's take a look at this story.
For the suspect who gunned down UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is at the hotel with the latest on the investigation. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. 24 hours after this assassination-style killing, the killer is at large, but he left behind a trail of clues here at the scene that may lead police to him and to a possible motive, suggesting anger with the insurance industry. This morning, a frantic manhunt for the man authorities spotted on this survey.
So this dude, big homie over here, okay, Mr. CEO, walking up to his hotel, having a wonderful day. You know, he's like, man, I can't wait to get a child with cancer, no coverage, so their family is saddled with medical debt. You know, just a regular old day for Mr. CEO. He's just like, walking over to my medical conference where I'm going to go, you know, hang out with a bunch of other CEOs, and we're going to talk about how many claims we denied. I assume that's what's happening in the mind of a healthcare CEO on any given Sunday, right? Like, you got to be constantly thinking like, man, $35 billion in pure profit this year. What a banger. Artificial intelligence to deny claims, 90% of which are actually wrong. What a fantastic invention I engaged in. The medical innovation. Oh my Lord. The amount of coverage that we can just deny because we made up some random AI thing. So sick. Like, that's probably what's going on in his mind. Okay. I mean, he's up early. That's Sigma grind set. It's 6 a.m. He up early as hell thinking about all the ways in which he's going to ruin the lives of tens of thousands of Americans. Because if you're that rich and that's your job, why the fuck are you up at 6 a.m.? Like, why are you up 6 a.m.? Turns out this guy, he outgrindsetted the grindset CEO. Turns out he's up at 6 a.m. This motherfucker was up at 4 a.m. Okay? There's always a guy out there working harder, working smarter. He was like, oh yeah, you're up at 6 a.m. Guess what, dude? You're down at 6:30. Okay? That's what he said. Walks up to him, bloom, blap, bloom. Now, those weren't the sounds that came out of that gun, because as you can see, this is a very long barrel. Guess what? That's not a barrel. That is a silencer. That's right. Now, the interesting part about that is, no, this was not a fart. It was silent but deadly, but it was not a fart. It was a suppressor on his pistol. And most likely using subsonic rounds as well. That's the speculation on why the bullet, why he had to constantly like rechamber after, what is that what's called? Like when your gun is jamming, basically. Which was really crazy because it looked like an open and shut, like, professional case. And the reason why I say that is because he was so cool throughout this entire process. I don't mean cool like, oh my God, he's like swagged out. That's a totally separate conversation. I mean, like, he was cool as a cucumber. Like, he was very calm throughout this process. He was very thorough. Now, people were saying that maybe it was because he wanted to get the casings after every shot, like collected, you know, professional hitman style, Sicario style. Turns out he wanted to leave the casings there, as a matter of fact, because he wrote stuff on the shells, which is wild. And when I first saw the story and I saw the media coverage over it, I thought it was very funny that people were like, yeah, this healthcare CEO got executed in broad daylight in the middle of in the middle of New York City. And the motive is unknown. And I was like, yeah, no, I think the motive is known. Like, it's one of those guys where I don't think this was a gay lovers quarrel, you know? I don't think this was like, oh, his ex-wife called out a hit on him. Like, it's like, that would be a unique setting. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those situations where it's like, if you heard Vladimir Putin got assassinated, you wouldn't be like, I wonder what the motive is here. You know what I mean? Like, there's many motives in that situation, but like, you know, like, I doubt someone is doing that over the anger that they feel towards, I don't know, some kind of new tax that Vladimir Putin implemented.
This video shooting and killing Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Police said it was no
What's crazy is motherfucker was wearing a quarter zip in this profile picture. Like, it is such, at this point, it's such a meme. Like, these guys, they love their quarter zips, dude. I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing, dude? Why? You took a headshot. Well, no pun intended. And you were repping the quarter zip in the headshot, you know? What are we doing here? What's going on? Y'all don't got nothing else? You just got quarter zips?
Every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
The gun appears to have a silencer and jammed. When the shooter cleared it, police say he fired again.
From watching the video, it does seem that he's proficient in the use of firearms, as he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly.
So that's a really interesting predicament, because on the one hand, I don't know enough about guns, at least like suppressors and subsonic rounds, but like, I feel like if he was like a massive pro, I suspect that like some things that he did made me think that he is professional, but some things that he did made me not feel like he's professional. So I feel like when he has a suppressor on, shouldn't you be testing that at some point to make sure that you know it doesn't jam? Am I wrong about this? Gun perverts, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though, like, is it that inconsistent that even if you have a pistol, even if you have a suppressor, even if you test it out, right, it still has the capacity to jam. So like, that kind of made me feel like maybe this is not a pro, but also the fact that he cleared it and walked slowly and continued, you know, eyes on the prize, that made me think he is a pro. I mean, I feel like, you know, putting myself in his shoes in a situation, not when I'm like, you know, executing the CEO of a healthcare company that is responsible for denied coverage to tens of thousands of Americans. I'm just saying, like, in a situation where, like, if I'm shooting a gun at all at a range and it jams, I don't have the technical proficiency to deal with it. I'm going to freak the fuck out, right? So the fact that he was able to clear it while continuing to walk made me feel like he knew what the fuck he was doing. Oh, there's also new oh God. One of the worst parts of being in EU is like every goddamn webpage is like, accept the cookies, mate. Do you accept the cookies, mate? Anyway, let's get back to it. So yeah, UnitedHealthcare CEO is shot. A real doop situation. Okay. The guy just walks away. Now, that is obviously an interesting story in and of itself, but I think one of the more interesting aspects of the story isn't even necessarily like the casings that he left on scene that said the words deny, defend, and depose, according to ABC News, which, by the way, is very similar to the title of the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It, by J.M. Feynman. Shooter of UnitedHealthcare Chief Executive Brian Thompson wrote Deny, Defend, Depose on the shell casings. The words echo the name of a book about how insurers won't pay claims. It's an earthquake for corporate America. Do you think he's mad they're reporting the casing words in the wrong order? Probably not worried about that for the time being, but let's continue.
Confirmed male shot in the confines of Midtown North.
Police say it was around 6:45 a.m. Wednesday when the suspect, pictured at a Starbucks before the shooting, gunned down Thompson as he was walking alone into the Hilton for an investors conference. And in new video overnight, the shooter seen here about 20 minutes before the shooting.
They're looking for a male about 5 feet 10 inches in height, cream color.
Yo, by the way, like, you know, don't get mad at me. I don't want to be like inappropriate here, but he looks kind of hot, dude. I cannot be the only person who immediately went, wow, clearly this guy has interesting style and also is kind of attractive, which is part of the reason why I thought if they catch him and he gets his message out and he's hot, it's going to be a far more consequential problem. They should let him go. Honestly, I'm not even joking when I say this. They should let him go, because if they catch him and they arrest him and then he gets to talk and says, this is why I did it, it's gonna be a Shinzo Abe situation. it. It already has become a Shinzo Abe situation. And that's actually the truly interesting part about this story. Now, America, we have gun violence all day, every day. And usually the gun violence that occurs is some random guy who loses their minds for one reason or another, ends up killing some of the most marginalized people in society. It's either a white supremacist teenager who wants to kill like black and brown people. You go to El Paso, to Walmart in El Paso, shoots like as many brown people as possible, goes to a black neighborhood deliberately in Buffalo, shoots as many black people as possible. Is either stuff like that, or again, someone who's like very clearly mentally ill that goes and like kills classmates, right? That's the norm. It's not the norm. And I said this when Donald Trump was shot. It's not the norm when you got a shooter who's like, you know, I'm actually going to do something consequential. I'm actually going to effectively identify where the vectors of my demise are, and I'm going to target them. That's not normal. And that's precisely the reason why when it's business as usual mass shootings, everybody goes, ugh, thoughts, prayers, whatever, right? But when this happens, they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You can't do that. That's an important guy. That's a rich guy. That's an important guy. That's a guy who has power. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Go kill school children. The fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean you killed a goddamn UnitedHealthcare CEO? Excuse me. Those are your lords and your masters. You don't. What do you mean? No, you're supposed to take your anger out on random Americans, dumbass. It's really interesting when a peasant rises up against the Lord, you know? Because what I realized is when I see situations like that, maybe it's because I cover so much death and so much destruction that like it doesn't really faze me that much. I mean, I'm always like, that's interesting. It's usually the approach that I have. Now, I didn't realize I wasn't alone. I thought I was alone. I thought there was something wrong with my brain, you know? People took it way further than me. I went on TikTok. I saw the news coverage and I would look at the comments and literally everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, can you kill more CEOs, please? I was like, what the what do you mean? Hello? On Facebook, on your grandpappy's Kalans meet, motherfuckers are out there celebrating, okay? What is going on? On Facebook, the UnitedHealthcare Facebook account, which is such a funny thing. Like, why the f*** do you have a Facebook account, UnitedHealthcare? Anyway, they did that. They posted about the death of their CEO. And the post got 21,000 smiley face responses. Like laughing, crying. Can you imagine motherfuckers named Deborah and Barbara clicking on the post with like the 18 font and their tongue sticking out like they're and picking the crying my face off laughing emoji to respond to it 21,000 times? Now is at 44? 50,000? The Deborahs and the Barbaras are the ones who are not supposed to be saying that. Look, this is crazy. Look, United Health Group. We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who work with him. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. 41,000 ha-has. Only 2.2 thousand kind of sad crying faces. 42,000 ha-has? People are now saying it's 51K now. And it's like yet another instance where I think mainstream media and like all of the reputable outlets, reputable institutions, and everyone that's like covering this is diametrically opposed to the way that the overwhelming majority of the population is approaching the subject matter. Like the media is like thoughts and prayers. This person had a family, which is really interesting to say. And I'll get to that in a moment. I'll say it now. This person had a family. Yeah. You know who else has a family? The cancer patient who got their coverage denied. You know what I mean? Like this person had a family. That's crazy. I know. Okay. So does Bashar al-Assad. So does Vladimir Putin. Okay. This person had a family. So did Ted Bundy, but most people were like this. Most people had this take. I'm sorry. Prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. 15,000 likes. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. 16,000 likes. Was his trip to the ER really emergent? According to his own company, my husband's heart attack wasn't an emergency, and we were out $3K, full deductible, 5,000 likes. Is crazy what my first thought was, and then I look at the comments and realize I'm not alone in my thoughts. 1,000 likes. I just can't find the care. Maybe if they ask for pre-approval of my care, then after they care, their required deductible, I might be able to supplement some care. I can't even pretend to care. I hope he's looking up at us. So it's like, if you're a CEO in one of these sectors, I'm not going to lie, dog, quit or, bankrupt the company and then start advocating for full-blown healthcare, full communist healthcare, okay? Because goddamn, it's not me. I look, you're a titan of enterprise, okay? And so am I. I'm a rich guy myself. I would never say anything like that, but it seems like other people are saying it. Not me. Can't catch me slipping. I'm not saying it, but other people certainly are saying it. That's what I saw. I saw this and I thought to myself, damn, people are really upset about their health care. Then I thought to myself, if only there was a guy who wanted Medicare for all. If he was president, that motherfucker would probably be alive right now. I mean, it's true. Literally. Maybe he wouldn't have made like $900 gorillion last year, but he'd still be alive. What's the JFK quote? Those who make peace impossible make violent retribution inevitable. Something along those lines, I think about that a lot. Leftists are evil for wishing for people's deaths. Dog, if you think, and I'm being so for real right now, okay? I'm being so for real with you. You can fantasize about this all day, every day. Like, oh, it's the leftists that are doing it. If you think 51,000 socialists are posting ha-has on Facebook, you might have gotten shot in the head too. There might be a bullet lodged in your brain. Maybe you could be like, oh, TikTok, like they're all little commies or whatever. No, dog, it's your neighbor and probably your aunt, okay? The people who are excited about this is not just like some random card-carrying commie that you fantasized about. It's your aunt, okay? In between finger blasting herself to old reruns of Steve Harvey, she posted haha on the UnitedHealthcare Facebook post. That's your aunt, dog. Go check in with her. Stop fantasizing about card-carrying socialists that want death upon everybody, okay? Unless you think your aunt is picked up a copy of Mao's Red Book or some shit. Yeah, I'm gonna be so real with you. This is like way beyond the normal lefties want blood attitude. I'm not kidding. If any polling company was brave enough to run a poll right now, anonymous, how many people think the killer should go free? You would be shocked by the results. Straight up, if any polling company has the balls, they should run this poll. The last time I was ever shocked in the United States of America was when they burned that police precinct down after George Floyd. And then they polled Americans on it, and it was like 80% was like, we know why they did it. That is the last time I've ever been like, damn, things are different. This was a funny ass tweet I saw. My husband hasn't posted anything on the internet in years. He didn't even post the photos of our wedding, and he posted this. I think the hatred that people have for, healthcare CEOs, the hatred people have for CEOs aside, and they hate CEOs, I think, but the hatred that they specifically have for healthcare CEOs, oh my Lord, things are interesting. You can't deny it. It's a shame the only political party interested in capitalizing on the rage Americans feel that this unjust society is the one who wants to direct it at immigrants and trans people. Democrats instead are like, it's disgraceful of you to be mad at our friends for killing you. Yeah, it's true. It's straight up. That was my first interpretation of all the ways in which people analyze this unconscionable act of violence. Chat, let me just say, I want to stress this importance, okay? I do not, what's the word? I don't want to f it up. I do not condone the assassination of insurance CEOs, healthcare CEOs. I do not condone it. I condemn it. I condemn. Just want to get it out of the way, I don't want anybody clipping anything else and running around. Maybe 6 years later, I'm at a debate stage and someone comes up and is like, At a time when there's a lot of political violence, don't you feel responsible for healthcare insurance executives getting assassinated? You know, I don't want none of that. But having said that, having gotten my condemnations out of the way, my very sincere condemnations out of the way, it is very interesting. I would never say it, but what I'm seeing other people say, oh my God, okay? Not me. I would never say it. You can't even catch me thinking it. But what I have seen from others is that Medicare for on the ballot, 100% of the votes. Okay, full table sweep. I'm not saying nothing, but it does seem like people are very mad about the healthcare situation in this country. I'm not saying it, but many people are. You feel me?